Number 10. Static electricity. I'll mention this a few times throughout this list because it needs to be said. Taylor's live shows are an extravagant and joyous occasion that are filled with lots of costume changes. During a performance in Glendale, Arizona, strands of Taylor's long blonde hair began to stand up. The situation was caused by constant changes in fabric, creating a field of static electricity. Her hair stayed up long enough for meme after meme to be created and shared with the world. Many fans compared the look to the doll from Rugrats, Cynthia, and the penguin played by Robin Williams in Happy Feet, Lovelace. Taylor found the memes to be pretty funny, even claiming that the hairstyle should become a regular thing. Regardless of why it happened, this will be an Eras Tour moment fans will never forget. Number 9. Cincinnati Sprint. Taylor loves to put on a good show with pyrotechnics, lots of dancing, and of course some pretty smooth entrances and exits. During one show in Cincinnati, Taylor ended a song and stood in place waiting for a trap door to open and slowly lower her into the ground. After a moment, nothing happens. She stomps in an attempt to activate it, but when it's clear that the door is malfunctioning, she makes a run for the back, sprinting past her background dancers. The sprint wasn't a move of embarrassment, but rather Taylor trying to keep the flow of the show going. A costume change was planned underneath the stage that quickly had to shift backstage instead. The sprint was caught by several fans in the crowd, with one Swiftie posting the moment on TikTok and adding that run sound effect to it. It's so much fun. Taylor was acting very quickly, and at least she made an effort. So many celebs would have probably just stomped their feet harder and harder until they fell down the shaft like that kid from Willy Wonka. Number 8. Yummy Buggy. During her stop in Chicago, Miss Swift was introducing her band's latest member, pianist Karina DePiano. And yes, that is her real last name. She suddenly began violently coughing and turned away from the crowd. After a moment, she catches her breath and tells the audience everything is fine, she just swallowed a bug. The audience cackled at the top of their lungs as they watched Taylor struggle to get rid of her unwanted hitchhiker. After a moment, she swallowed the bug, or it vanished because she stopped coughing and said, yum. A tasty treat for Taylor, I guess. She made light of the situation by asking the crowd if anyone had actually seen what just happened, before joking that it will more than likely happen again. That's the problem with outside venues. Free concert for bugs. Who's gonna check if they have tickets? Little tiny bug police? I don't think so. Number 7. Security! This time it was Taylor's staff that was causing the issue. During her show in Philadelphia, there appeared to be some problems in the audience. The security team was constantly shoving the crowd back from the stage area, and I do mean shoving, like physically trying to move them. Taylor spotted a security team dragging one fan out of the crowd and telling them to let her go as she wasn't doing anything wrong. While the video capture didn't really make it clear what happened, a fan who was in attendance explained the situation on Twitter. The security team had grown increasingly aggressive as the night went on, and a woman and her friends started dancing and getting rowdy. You know, normal things people do in the pit at a concert. But the security team did not like that. They had enough and escorted the woman and her friends away from the venue, telling them they could return the next night. So, why kick them out? They just went back the next day and laid low. Next time, either kick them out or don't, security guy. Number 6. Sweep the leg. Now, there have been a handful of times where celebrities fall on stage, and Swift has fallen a handful of times due to weather or just tripping on her own feet. But when she was knocked off her feet by one of her background dancers, it was certainly shocking. She was walking down a platform at one of her concerts while a dancer held her hand as part of the routine. The dancer then fell to the ground and delivered a helicopter ninja kick to Taylor's legs, literally sweeping her off her feet. The move was clearly an accident, and the dancer helped her get back to her feet, but rather than berate the dancer, Taylor shakes it off and continues the show. Get it? Shake it off. I'm a freaking genius. Number 5. The janitor cart. There was a massive theory going around the internet as Taylor began her Eras tour. People were wondering how it was possible for her to get around the venue when there were crazed fans literally around every corner. Not to mention, in order to get to the stage of most outdoor venues, you have to be exposed to the public even for a brief moment. But there was one common theme at each of her shows. The event staff were always seen pushing some tall janitor cart back and forth before the show would begin. in. Now, the first red flag was that the people pushing this thing had earbuds in their heads and they were wearing black t-shirts, not janitor outfits. Eventually, a fan was able to get the right angle and captured the moment that Taylor steps out of the cart backstage. Not only did this confirm the rumor, but Taylor's secret vehicle had been outed to the world. Now, I won't be attending the concert because I'm not rich, but for those of you who are attending, please keep an eye out for two people in black t-shirts pushing the coffin or something down the hall. I don't know what they'll do. Number 4. Wet works. Okay, I know these are supposed to be worst moments at this tour, but this is just kind of impressive. During a show in Massachusetts, Taylor performed her entire set, 40 plus songs in a rainstorm, something that she apparently does all the time. Photos and videos from the concert show Taylor splashing around on stage, trying to clear off a piano as rain continues to fall on it, and overall making light of what could have been a very rough situation. In fact, only a few weeks prior to this concert, many fans were forced to shelter in place for over 4 hours due to a severe storm over top of the arena. Despite being drenched in rain, she continued with her costume changes, dance choreography, and theatrics during the almost 4-hour show. Somehow this woman is able to take what would normally force people to leave a show and turn it into a fun time. Number 3. Dive, dive, dive! Taylor knows how to put on a good show, and this next entry just proves that sentence. During one of her first shows of the Era Tour in Glendale, Arizona, Taylor stood in front of her fans as a small hole opened in the stage. She jumped in and a masterpiece in LED technology began to play. Waves flowed across the stage as a bird's eye view showed her swimming from one end of the stage to the other. The sequence ended with a large wave hitting the back of the stage, with Taylor appearing underneath a cloud in a new outfit as the waves vanished. Thankfully, this worked out on stage, as it's been reported that during the rehearsals for the show, Taylor missed her mark a couple times ever so slightly and wound up belly flopping into the pool, which would have made for a very different show. Number 2. Ticketmaster. Many fans were excited when Taylor first announced her world tour, so much so that they were waiting in virtual queues for hours on end, just waiting for those tickets to become available. The tickets went on sale in November 2022, but there was a problem. The website Ticketmaster received so many orders at one time that the entire site crashed. The tickets were pre-sold and advertised as just for fans, while there was a separate general ticket that was supposed to be available soon after. Instead, the site was riddled with bugs and errors, causing sales to either not go through or for the site to just crash entirely on its users. Not to mention, the general ticket suddenly became unavailable only hours after being added as an option. The setback caused massive issues with fans who were left trying to figure out a new way to see Tay-Tay. The issue was eventually fixed, but the moment Taylor's fans broke the internet will go down in history. Number 1. Skipping Canada. It's no breaking news that the original plan for Taylor was to skip Canada entirely during her Eras tour, with many fans calling the move one of the biggest mistakes of her career. Hundreds of thousands of Canadian Swifties looked to Twitter to express their frustrations. The comments, of course, came after she had already begun her tour, but seemed to make a major impact on Taylor. A couple of weeks ago, Taylor did a complete 180 and added several shows in cities across Canada. She decided to make the move after receiving messages from so many fans, not fueled with hate, but with sadness. Taylor made the announcement on Instagram Live, sharing that she will be adding quite a few stops in Canada, but will unfortunately not be visiting Vancouver. Yeah, she's worried that like Seth Rogen or someone might pop up in the crowd. You know that man is a Swiftie for sure.
And number 10, pricey tickets. Now, it's been hard to follow the Ticketmaster scandal since it erupted across social media this past week. However, the ticket prices should have been a huge red flag for any fans before they even tried to purchase the tickets. For those who were able to purchase tickets, they became victims of a dynamic pricing which forced them to pay amounts well above the established ticketing price, even for nosebleed seats. And don't even get me started about the fees, as the fees added up to be more than half the ticket price. This was all before considering the resale, as front row tickets started at $20,000. Now, even resale sites have the ticket prices marked up to tens of thousands of dollars per seat. So it looks like most of us will be listening to Taylor Swift play in the comforts of our car in the parking lot outside of the event, because that seems more reasonable compared to the ticket prices. And number 9, hours online. Fans who tried to score tickets last Tuesday would skip school and work just to spend hours online for the chance to receive tickets. And the tweets that came with it were pretty hilarious to read, with one user writing, "If Chick-fil-A was in charge of the Ticketmaster queue, I would have had Taylor Swift tickets within minutes, just saying." Fans would also even start a movement using Ticketmaster is over party hashtag. Now, such chaos surrounding ticket sales isn't uncommon. However, if you're a fan that decided to skip school and work just to get a verified code so you could purchase tickets, I hope you got your tickets, because school and money is definitely more important than stressing yourself out over a little concert. Hey my peaches, are you enjoying this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And number 8, endless queues. After fans received a verified pre-sale code, thousands would head to Ticketmaster to purchase tickets. However, the horror that would arise when fans hit the site would leave many unhappy. The pre-sale would leave many fans stuck in hour-long queues with more than 2,000 plus people ahead of them trying to grab tickets for the Eras tour, Taylor's first tour in 4 years. The queues were made so Ticketmaster could distinguish who was a bot and who was really buying tickets, and it definitely came with some major flaws. I don't know what's more concerning, the fact that queues were 2,000 people long, or the fact that some of you actually spent 6 to 8 hours waiting in a queue just to grab a ticket. I mean, that's some serious commitment, and some of you weren't even going to meet the singer. So was it worth waiting in these lines, and were you actually able to nab a ticket? If so, let me know in the comments below. Number 7, fans kicked off the queues. So roughly 3.5 million people signed up for the chance to buy Taylor Swift tickets in advance sales. This would make her tour have the largest registration in pop music history. However, later Ticketmaster would say they received more than 3.5 billion system requests to buy the tickets last Tuesday. Anyone looking to grab seats definitely was a little surprised when they had to wait in an hour-long queue. Some fans, just when it was finally their turn to grab a ticket, they were booted out of the system and forced to return to the bottom of the queue, which was filled with even more people. One fan even took to Twitter to say, "When you spend 6 hours waiting in a queue and finally get through, only for Ticketmaster to say you haven't signed into your account, even though you are, and then put you back in a queue with 2,000 people ahead of you again." And then some people didn't even make it to the end of the queue before they were kicked off the site and forced to try again multiple times. I'm sorry, but that's some serious commitment just to grab a ticket. And number 6, Ticketmaster canceled sales. The whole process to buy a Taylor Swift ticket became such a huge messy disaster that Ticketmaster would eventually come to the final decision to cancel the public sale for Taylor Swift The Eras tour. The company would cite extraordinarily high demands on ticketing systems and insufficient remaining ticket inventory as the reasons to why they were pulling the plug on general pre-sale early. With the high demands of fans trying to buy tickets, Taylor would have to perform over 900 stadium shows just to meet the demands of people trying to buy tickets. So I guess Ticketmaster made a pretty smart move there. And number 5, money taken from fans' accounts when the system crashed. Some fans, before they were kicked off the system, were actually waiting for their cards to process just to get their tickets. However, some of these fans would still end up being charged without receiving the ticket, and one unlucky fan actually ended up getting charged 14 times, and she still didn't get a ticket. In a now viral tweet by Twitter user Sydney Sarah 1, that she shared that she waited all day in a virtual queue for tickets after she noticed that she was allegedly charged 14 times despite not even successfully getting the concert tickets. The user took to Twitter to say, "Waited in a line for Taylor Swift tickets for 8 hours today, and SeatGeek charged me 14 plus times for tickets I wasn't even able to purchase. So now my bank accounts, happened on multiple cards, are frozen. I'm broke, it overdrafted my accounts, and I did not get the tickets." She would then even post bank receipts to back up her post. SeatGeek did eventually end up reaching out to her to provide a refund, so now all she has to do is wait for the money to come back in. 4, the tour announcement. When Taylor Swift announced her tour, it should have been a red flag to all of us, even before we jumped on the internet to purchase tickets. I get it, it's been 4 years since Taylor did her last tour, and with everything going on in the world, it would have been the perfect event to clear your mind and to help you believe that everything's finally getting back to normal. It was said that tickets could be purchased earlier for Capital One credit card holders. It should have been speaking red flags, as pretty much everyone in America owns a Capital One credit card. And there wasn't a limit on how many people could sign up for the pre-sale, meaning you all should have known that there was going to be problems purchasing tickets with 3.5 million people signing up to get the pre-order ticket code and about 3.5 billion of you trying to get on the platform to buy tickets. Did you really expect the internet not to crash in the process? And number 3, investigation being launched. With many fans being left empty-handed, state officials are now involved in an investigation to see what went wrong. In Tennessee, the Attorney General would even announce that his office is investigating whether Capital One pre-sale through Ticketmaster violated protection laws. Even a United States representative said that Ticketmaster is a monopoly, its merger with Live Nation, and it should have never happened or been approved of in the first place. Even Joe Biden would take to Twitter about the fees and would say, I know hidden junk fees like processing fees on concert tickets are just a pain. They're unfair, deceptive, and add up. That's why last week I called on my administration to crack down on these fees and put the money back into your pockets. Hopefully he can do that because those fees were ridiculous and it should have been illegal. And number 2, Taylor's response. Taylor Swift was just as unhappy about the ticket sales situation as her fans, and she took to her Instagram to post a 3-paragraph response. Taylor would go on to say, well, it goes without saying that I'm extremely protective of my fans. We've been doing this for decades together, and over the years, I brought many elements of my career in-house. I've done this specifically to improve quality of my fans' experience by doing it myself with my team who cares about my fans as I do. It's really difficult for me to trust an outside entity with these relationship loyalties, and it's excruciating for me to watch mistakes happen with no recourse. There are a multitude of reasons why people have such a hard time trying to get tickets, and I'm trying to figure out how this situation can be improved moving forward. I'm not trying to make excuses for anyone because we asked them multiple times if they could handle this kind of demand, and we were assured they could. Taylor then went on to say she was truly amazed that 2.4 million people were able to get tickets during this mess, and she was really upset about the trouble fans went just to try to grab a ticket. And at number 1 today, we have Ticketmaster's apology. After Ticketmaster decided to cancel the general sale for Taylor Swift's upcoming Eras tour, they would issue an apology to Taylor Swift and her fans with a lengthy explanation. The company would go on to say, first, we want to apologize to Taylor and all of her fans, especially those who had a terrible experience trying to purchase tickets. Next, we feel we owe it to everyone to share some information to help explain what happened. They would then go on to explain their verified fan registration process was intended to help manage high demands of sales and weed out bots. They also explained that 3.5 million people pre-registered and that they only sent out codes to 1.5 million users to join the sale, and that 2 million people were placed on a waiting list. They then went on to say that only 15% of users actually experienced issues getting tickets, and they blamed that on the traffic and staggering number of bot attacks. However, we all know they weren't ready to deal with the high demand of clients, and they honestly need to create a better system because this was not it. Starting off our list today at number 10, we have infidelity. So Taylor Swift's breakups tend to be really messy, and when the star released her song High Infidelity, she pretty much hinted at the fact that she hasn't been 100% faithful in her previous relationships. With Taylor bringing up the topic of cheating and leaving a loveless relationship when she specifically mentioned April 29th was a major turning point for the star, she didn't exactly mention what year made her come to this conclusion. With many fans curious with tracking down what may have happened to her that day, they have connected the dots back to 2 people. The first one being Calvin Harris, whom Swift reportedly dated for 15 months before splitting back in 2016. With April 29, 2016 also being the day the Scottish DJ released "This Is What You Came For," he would then tell Ryan Seacrest that Taylor was about to take take a long break, and that same day she would be spotted shopping in New York City, preparing for the Met Gala which she was hosting, and at the May 2nd event she was then seen dancing with Tom Hiddleston, who she would go on to date later that summer, which then went on to hint that she may have cheated on Calvin with Tom. And when it came to Tom and Taylor's relationship, that also ended quick, and she would then jump into a relationship with Joe, which also has fans speculating that Taylor cheated on Tom with Joe, and it now has them wondering if she possibly just recently cheated on Joe. But honestly, would we really be mad at the fact, as he's just a little too basic when you compare him to the previous guys she's dated before. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss out on what we might just cover next. Number 9, the deleted cat pics. So even when couples are together, sometimes we see them delete pictures of each other because they just didn't match the mood of their Instagram feed. And while breakups tend to happen, when you have to scrub everything from your page, including pictures of their animals, then it's clear things really didn't end as well as you were hoping for. With fans heading to Instagram and other social media outlets to find out if the pair actually did split, with some remaining hopeful that the split was just all a rumor, many fans would then be heartbroken to find out that the rumors might just be true after they pointed out that Joe has removed all of the photos he had of Taylor Swift's cats. And it really makes you ask, in the process, what did the poor innocent cats do, Joe? Number 8, swap songs. If you were one of the lucky people who were able to score a Taylor Swift era ticket after the whole Ticketmaster scandal, then you know if you were at Taylor's March 31st show, things definitely went a little different than they have in the previous shows. Fans were surprised at her show in Texas after they noticed Taylor Swift swapped out her song Invisible String for The One during the folklore part of her show. Fans would then point out that the star could have done this to drop some major Easter eggs to confirm that her and Joe have officially broken up. With Invisible String being about two soulmates, fans have pointed out that the song could have been about Joe, and that's why she swapped the song for The One, which is ironically enough about a breakup, which is about a former lover and how Taylor was still mourning the loss of that love. When news of her breakup started to emerge, this is when fans speculated that the two were significantly related, as they started to flood to Twitter to say, is this why she switched Invisible String for The One? And with the star playing her new set list since, it's not really hard to see why people think this. Number 7, crying during champagne problems. During Taylor Swift's recent show, the singer has visibly been emotional during Champagne Problems, a song which is about a woman turning down her lover's proposal. With a video on TikTok going viral over the incident, has now gained over 3.4 million views as it shows Taylor's eyes glistening during the rendition. With fans soon taking to Twitter to make comments about the incident, one fan would question if the rumors surrounding Taylor and Joe's relationship were true when she said, is this why she was crying during Champagne Problems? Because they broke up. Stop now, I refuse to believe this. However, TikTok users were less than convinced after some even pointed out Taylor was crying because she just performed Marjorie. So she was just emotional when she was singing Champagne Problems because she was still thinking about her grandmother. With Evermore also being based on her real feelings that the star has also experienced, TikTok users have also said that the star could have just become really emotional here because of the crowd. Number 6, silence. When neither Joe and Taylor or their representatives making a comment on the pair's breakup officially, well yet. We all know the comments are coming very shortly, as there have been a number of so-called inside sources close to the couple that have been spilling all the tea surrounding the couple's breakup to various media outlets, which can only assume that these rumors have also come with the permission of either Taylor or Joe, or both. With one source close to Taylor telling CNN that the couple's relationship simply just grew apart and that they were planning to remain good friends, ET would also post a similar report where they would note that apparently Joe and Taylor's split was amicable. With there being so much unknown due to the couple's silence, it's not really surprising, as they did tend to keep things pretty private. However, with saying that, you definitely know that we're going to keep you up to date as soon as an official statement is made, or most likely when Taylor finally drops a couple more Easter eggs while she's on tour for her Eras tour. 5, missing. So if you've been on TikTok this past week, then you are well aware of all the Easter eggs Swift fans have been uncovering, to the point that it's cleared Joe and Taylor have in fact ended their 6-year relationship. And with it, a lot of us have been pointing out that throughout the Eras tour, Joe hasn't been spotted backstage doing any support of Olivia Wilde-like dancing for Taylor Swift's first few shows, and he's been missing in the weeks to come. With many fans freaking out about the state of the pair's relationship since the start of Taylor's show due to Joe's presence missing, maybe fans were right to start freaking out about the pair's relationship, as there was clearly something going on, and it was the start of all of their relationship problems. With the former couple in the beginning stating that Joe just wasn't around as much due to scheduling issues, while we all wish the actor was just missing because of a filming conflict, it just seems like that wasn't the case. Number 4. Unfollow Joe. With everybody deep diving into Taylor and Joe's relationship and what have may gone wrong, other fans have been trying to find out if the couple really did break up, or is this just press clickbait sort of thing. However, what many fans haven't noticed is that Taylor actually ended up unfollowing Joe at the start of all this drama, and it wasn't really suspicious as the star did it in a less sneaky way. If you head over to Taylor Swift's Instagram profile, you may have noticed that the star recently unfollowed everyone on the platform, including her best friend Selena Gomez. With the star unfollowing everyone including Joe, it made things not really suspicious, but now that their split has become a trending topic, it makes you wonder when the star chose to unfollow everyone, why she chose to unfollow everyone, and why her and Joe decided to call it quits. Number 3. The Ring. With the release of Taylor's newest album, Midnights, the internet would start to speculate that Taylor and Joe were engaged, as millions of fans couldn't help but zoom in on images and videos of Taylor's ring finger after the star was spotted wearing a pear-shaped diamond engagement ring in her documentary Miss Americana, with the engagement ring appearing to have a thin band in a white gold or platinum in a large stunning pear diamond. In the process, we all knew we wouldn't expect to see this beautiful ring always out and about. But recently it seems like even when Taylor isn't in a big venue, the ring has completely disappeared from her finger, which makes it abundantly clear that the couple is trying to keep their split behind closed doors, and we probably won't see them make any comments about their split until Taylor decides she wants to put it on her next album. But honestly, the whole missing ring thing is seriously some major tea. Number 2. Engagement comments. When Taylor Swift and Joe's relationship hit a high point in the tabloids back in 2022, Joe would come out to address all the speculation surrounding the idea that he secretly proposed to Taylor Swift. But with it, he honestly keeps things really sus. With Joe playing things super coy, he would kind of make a joke that kind of hinting that he was going to marry Taylor. He probably wouldn't go through with it when he said, "If I had a pound for every time I think I've been told I've been engaged, then I've had a lot of pound coins." He would then go on to say even if the rumors were true, he wasn't going to say anything, which was kind of hinting that he didn't even want to be in a relationship with Taylor. And even though he was with her, he wanted her to be his secret. When he said, "I mean, the truth is, if the answer was yes, I wouldn't say. And if the answer was no, I wouldn't say." Number 1. Quiet during the Selena scandal. Now that we've discovered that Taylor Swift has now split from her fiancé Joe Alwyn, it makes a lot of sense to why she's been really quiet after the news started to break about the whole Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber scandal. With Taylor usually being the one to voice her opinions and fight back against the bullies, she stayed relatively quiet during this whole bullying thing, especially when videos started to emerge of Hailey Bieber gagging while making fun of Taylor Swift in the process. And maybe this is because Taylor has been so busy trying to focus on coping with the loss of Joe, and that she really just didn't have the time or energy to clap back at the Jenner sisters and Hailey in the process, which isn't really a Taylor thing to do. And maybe this is why we saw Selena come out and defend her friend in the process. Either way, I could just be diving into this issue way too deep. It could all just be a coincidence, but it does highlight something what's going on with the star to prove why she's been missing from social media and why she's been pretty quiet these days.
Starting off this countdown, we have Joe Jonas. So Taylor Swift and Joe Jonas dated for a short period of time during Joe's Disney Channel days. In 2008, Taylor completely exposed Joe on the Ellen DeGeneres show. She revealed that Joe dumped her through a 25-second phone call. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. But years later, Taylor actually came forward and apologized to Joe for doing this. She said that she was young and felt bad for putting Joe on blast on Ellen's show. Joe later responded to Taylor's apology and said, and I quote, "It's something that I probably was feeling pretty bad about when I was younger. At the end of the day, I've moved on. I'm sure Taylor's moved on. It feels nice and we're all friends. It's all good. At least there's no more bad blood between them, so That's good. Moving on at number 9, we have Katy Perry. This was a very famous and public feud. It all started in 2014 when Taylor Swift accused Perry of stealing her backup dancers. To make matters worse, Perry also started dating Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriend, John Mayer, which obviously Taylor was not too fond of. Then the two went back and forth for a long time, calling each other out publicly. And apparently the song Bad Blood and Look What You Made Me Do are both about Katy Perry. But in May of 2018, the two made up with each other. Perry sent Taylor Swift a literal olive branch. Then later, Taylor sent her cookies, and Katy even made a guest appearance in Taylor's music video, You Need to Calm Down. So it looks like they finally put their past in the past. Coming in at number 8, we have Connor Kennedy. Taylor and Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s son got together in 2012 for a summer fling. Taylor reportedly exposed their relationship in her song Begin Again, but in a positive way. The song shows how respectful he was compared to other guys. He would do little gestures like pull out the chair for her before she sat down and would walk her to her car. She sings about how positive this relationship is compared to her past relationships, so she exposed him for being a great guy. Moving on at number 7, we have John Mayer. When Taylor Swift was only 19 years old, she got into a relationship with 32-year-old John Mayer, who has quite the reputation of being a player, so no wonder it didn't work out between them. After their breakup in 2010, Taylor wrote a song called Dear John, which, come on, it's clearly about John Mayer. The song basically alludes to the fact that he manipulated her and she regretted the whole relationship. The lyrics go as so: "Don't you think I was too young to be messed with? The girl in the dress cried the whole way home. I should have known. And you'll add my name to your long list of traitors who don't understand. And I'll look back and regret how I ignored when they said, run as fast as you can." That's pretty damn deep, Taylor. Wow. Coming in at number 6, we have Kanye West. Oh boy, the drama between these two. I'm sure you're familiar with how he rudely interrupted her at the VMAs. Yeah, well, that was just the beginning of this lengthy feud. Years later, Kanye released his song Famous with the lyrics, and I quote, "I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that famous. I made that famous." And the music video features a wax figure of a naked Taylor Swift in bed with Kanye and other naked celebs. According to Taylor, she had no prior knowledge that she would be referred to as a B in this song. Then the phone call that the two had was leaked online, but it wasn't the full version. Taylor responded with, "Where is the video of Kanye telling me he was going to call me that bitch in his song? It doesn't exist because it never happened. You don't get to control someone's emotional response to being called that B in front of the entire world. While I wanted to be supportive of Kanye on the phone call, you cannot approve a song you've never heard. Being falsely painted as a liar when I was never given the full story or played any part of the song is character assassination." Taylor went off. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Kim Kardashian. Of course, Kim Kardashian got involved in the whole Taylor-Kanye drama. She just couldn't help herself. Well, someone was recording their phone call and people think that it was Kim. Not only that, but she's the one who released sections of the call onto her Snapchat story calling Taylor out. So Kim tried to expose Taylor, but in the end just exposed herself. She chose what sections of the call to include to make it seem like Taylor agreed to Kanye's song. Whereas if you actually listen to the full phone call, you can tell how awkward Taylor was about it all, and how she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to think about it," and she was just trying to be so polite to Kanye about it all. In our 4th spot, we have Camila Belle. Camila Belle is an actress who was Joe Jonas's girlfriend right after he and Taylor Swift broke up. Apparently, Taylor blames Camila for being the reason that the two broke it off. Her song, Better Than Revenge, is said to be about her. The lyrics go as so: "She's not a saint and she's not what you think. She's an actress, she's better known for the things she does on the mattress. Soon she's gonna find stealing other people's toys on the playground won't make you many friends. She should keep in mind there is nothing I do better than revenge." Not gonna lie, that was pretty ruthless. Like, she came for Camila. Coming in at number 3, we have Harry Styles. We never go out of style. aka Harry Styles. Apparently that song is about Harry Styles, and I didn't even realize. Anyway, so the two low-key dated for a couple of months before calling it quits after a heated argument. The two never really spoke openly about their relationship while they were in it, so it's no shocker that they didn't really mention the breakup afterwards. As for the songs written about Harry, rumor has it that it's I Knew You Were Trouble, Out of the Woods, and of course Style, among others. It makes Harry look bad when she says things like, and I quote, "No apologies, he'll never see you cry, pretends he doesn't know that he's the reason why you're drowning. And the saddest fear comes creeping in that you never loved me or her or anyone or anything." It just makes Harry Styles seem bad, and I love Harry Styles. Let me know in the comments below. Were you a fan of One Direction? If so, who's your favorite cast member? I liked Liam Payne and Harry Styles, obviously. Coming in at number 2, we have Scooter Braun. By now, we all know that Scooter Braun is, not the nicest guy in the world, and often manipulates the artists that he works with. Well, Taylor exposed him big time. In June of 2019, Scooter purchased Taylor from her former record label Big Machine Records, which means he got all the rights to Taylor's songs, which is why Taylor is re-releasing all her old work, so that she has control over her masters again. Well, on Tumblr, Taylor wrote a lengthy message all about this, and accused Scooter of incessant manipulative bullying. She continued on saying, and I quote, "The message being said to me is very clear. Basically, be a good little girl and shut up, or you'll be punished. This is wrong. Neither of these men had a hand in the writing of those songs. They did nothing to create the relationship I have with my fans. So this is where I'm asking for your help." And in our number 1 spot today, we have Jake Gyllenhaal. Man, the Swifties are coming after Jake, holy. So one of the songs that Taylor re-released is All Too Well, which is apparently about Jake Gyllenhaal. In the song, Taylor sings about how she left her scarf at his sister's house and he's hung onto it after all those years and still wears it. Well, paparazzi shots show Taylor out on a stroll with Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Taylor is wearing this black scarf with stripes. Years later, after their breakup, Jake was seen wearing that exact same scarf. So Swifties are currently spamming Jake's Instagram with scarf emojis, and they all want him to return the scarf, which is kind of funny. But poor Jake, he's under fire now. But that's not the only song said to be about him. Others include We're Never Getting Back Together, I Almost Do, State of Grace, and The Moment I Knew, among others. And the songs don't really paint the best picture of Jake.
Kicking off our list number 10 is the fun fact that she grew up on a Christmas tree farm. Now, most of the time when you get asked where you grew up, you normally would not expect someone's response to be a Christmas tree farm. But during an interview back in 2014, Taylor told Esquire that she grew up on a Christmas tree farm from ages 5 to 10. She said, "It was such a weird place to grow up, but it has cemented in me this unnatural level of excitement about fall and then the holiday season." She loved that part of her childhood so much that she even released a Christmas song in 2019 called Christmas Tree Farm, and in the music video, it is compiled clips from her childhood on that farm. How cool is that? I wish I grew up on a Christmas tree farm. I'm a huge holiday person. That'd be a dream come true. Up next, number 9 is she was on the TV series CSI. I don't know what it is about this beautiful blonde, but I just can't picture her being on a show like CSI. Mainly because she's never actively pursued an acting career, so I'm just a little confused as to when this even happened. It was all the way back in 2009 when she appeared on an episode where her character ended up getting murdered. Her character was total opposite to Taylor that we're used to seeing, like the bubbly country girl during this time. Her character had a very dark past and storyline, and she actually rocked a lip piercing along with 5 different hairstyles throughout the episode. It was actually one of her first big roles, and people were a little shocked by the risky and romantic scenes that she had to perform. Sliding into number 8 is her go-to drive-thru order. Alright, so maybe it's a little bit silly to think that people care about Taylor Swift's drive-thru order, but I guarantee there are tons of people who do. I mean, I would personally love to know what Miley Cyrus's drive-thru order is. Like 100%. During an interview with Vogue, she was asked what her go-to order would be at a drive-thru, and she answered saying a cheeseburger, fries, and a chocolate shake. A pretty simple order, to be honest. I guess her answer would depend based on like what restaurant she's ordering from, but we get the gist of it. Let me know in the comments, just for fun, what your drive-thru order would be. Mine would be kind of like a chicken burger. I'm a chicken type person. Some chicken nuggets with honey, And I would go for a chocolate shake. I can't have dairy, but I would do it anyway. Extra pickles on my sandwich too, obviously. Moving on to number 7 is she wrote a book when she was a teenager. There is no denying she is a gal with many talents, and writing is obviously one of them since she writes lyrics all the time. But apparently she wrote a book when she was young, and it was pretty legit. The book was called A Girl Named Girl, and her parents said they still have a copy of it. During her interview with GQ, she said she wrote an autobiographical novel when she was 14. She talked about the story plot and said, "It's about a mother who wants a son, but instead gets a girl." If that book was honestly released in 2020, no lie, it would probably be the best-selling novel in the world. She went on to say that she's always been into books, and if she was not pursuing music, she probably would have went to college and got into a career such as marketing. She said she would want words and ideas to be the forefront of her career. In the number 6 spot is how she spends her time after a concert. Many artists have rituals that they will do before or after performing a massive concert. Taylor has a way that she likes to unwind after performing to a crowd of tens of thousands of people and meeting hundreds of fans during meet and greets. In 2015, she told GQ that after she is done performing, she likes to go home and have a mini marathon of the show Friends. She said it is her favorite show that is currently not on the air, and by the sounds of it, Taylor and I would be very good friends. Get it? Friends? I love Friends. Halfway through number 5 is the first song she ever learned on guitar. We don't see her playing her guitar often anymore the way she used to when she started out as a country singer. Before she ventured into the pop genre, she was just a blonde girl singing with her brown boots and her acoustic guitar. Nowadays she's gone completely pop, but once in a while she will slow it down and share her guitar skills with her fans. During an interview with Vogue, she was asked what the first song was that she learned on guitar, and she said it was Kiss Me by the Sixpence None the Richer. Fun fact, guys, I used to play guitar. No lie, I played acoustic guitar, I took some lessons, and the first song I ever learned was Happy Ending by Avril Lavigne. That is fact. And I can still play one song, and it's James Blunt, You're Beautiful. Sniping the number 4 spot is she was a horseback rider. This one isn't totally surprising after I said that she grew up on a farm. It seems like that lifestyle has just kind of always been a part of her life for a long time. She opened up about her mom having a love for horses during a 2016 interview, where she said that when she was younger, her mom had the dream of her becoming a horseback rider. So she started taking lessons at a young age and was actually riding competitively until she was 12 years old, but eventually she told her mom that she did not share that same passion for horses and that it wasn't something she wanted to pursue. Alright guys, in the 3rd spot is she was maid of honor. I know she was just a human like everyone else, but for some reason it's hard to just picture Taylor rolling up to a wedding as someone in a bridal party. Like, wouldn't everyone want to get her up on stage to sing and perform? Turns out in 2016, Taylor returned to her hometown in Reading, Pennsylvania for the wedding of her childhood friend Brittany Mack. And like everyone else, Taylor did all the things that any maid of honor would do, even a big speech. Vogue reported that during her speech she said, "Real love doesn't mess with your head, real love just is, real love just endures, real love maintains, real love takes it page by page." Kinda sounds like her lyrics, and honestly, if that was me, I would probably just go back in my notes and just use song lyrics from songs that I didn't put out there yet. That's what I would do. Taking over spot number 2 is she has 3 cats. So the real Taylor Swift fans won't be too surprised by this. Taylor is actually obsessed with cats. She is the definition of a crazy cat lady, and she openly talks about it. She has gone on the Ellen Show a few times and did segments based around cats, like the Kitty Corner, where she dressed up as an old lady and talked about cats with photos of them hanging behind her in a shrine. Her cats' names are Meredith Grey, Olivia Benson, and Benjamin Button. She named her first Scottish Fold cat after the character Meredith Grey from the TV series Grey's Anatomy. Her second cat, Olivia Benson, was named after another TV character from Law & Order. And just in case you couldn't guess, so was the third cat. Benjamin Button was actually named after Brad Pitt's character in the film The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Interesting. She should have named it after other artists. This is Ariana Grande. This is Ellen DeGeneres. She should name her next cat Ellen. Earning the number 1 spot, she has written songs for other artists. Oftentimes in the music industry, we learn about artists who write songs for other people, and Taylor Swift is one to add to the list. She's been known to write her own music, but she also wrote Better Man for Little Big Town, and even a song for the Hannah Montana movie, You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home, which was especially exciting for me because I'm a huge Hannah Montana fan, and I had no idea. So when I learned that, I was freaking out. In 2016, one of her PR reps also reached out to People and said that Taylor wrote This Is What You Came For Calvin Harris. I mean, this is a pretty impressive list to add to her resume. There's probably a lot more where that came from as well.
And at number 10, Joe Jonas. Joe Jonas was the first celebrity Taylor dated after she became a mainstream star. They dated from July to October of 2008, and it was highly publicized. In the end, the relationship didn't last too long, but their relationship was really what stuck with fans. After they broke up, Taylor went on The Ellen Show and told the world that Joe broke up with her on a 27-second phone call. I'm honestly still wondering how that's even possible. Then Taylor wrote songs Last Kiss and Forever and Always about him too. Then Joe moved on to actress Camila Bell, and Taylor wrote the song Better Than Revenge, which includes lyrics aimed at Camila like, she's an actress but she's better known for the things she does on the mattress. Joe actually commented on Taylor's music surrounding their split, and he wanted the world to know that he did not cheat on Taylor like she may have implied in the songs. And at number 9, Lucas Till. Taylor and Lucas Till started dating after he starred in her music video called You Belong With Me, but their young love did not last. They dated for only 1 month in 2009, but it still got a ton of press. When asked why it didn't work for them, Lucas explained that there was not enough friction in the relationship for it to last. He added, quote, "We just really both liked each other, but most relationships work out because you get along, then you don't, then you make up and it's passionate. And with us, I just really liked her as a friend." And at number 8, Taylor Lautner. This relationship was another that did not last for too long, but it did create one of the strangest couple names in history, Taylor Squared. They were together from August to December of 2009, and they met on the set of the movie Valentine's Day, where they acted alongside each other. The pair played love interests, which clearly got sparks flying. A source revealed that after a few months of dating, they both realized that they weren't compatible for the long term. The sad song Back to December off Taylor's Speak Now album is reportedly about Lautner. In the song, she sings about regret for the way that things ended. And at number 7, John Mayer. This was probably Taylor's first serious relationship, and although it didn't last for all that long, it led to the creation of the hit song Dear John. They dated from December of 2009 to February of 2010, and there was a 12-year age difference between them. They first started dating after they collaborated on the song Half of My Heart, but things went rocky pretty quickly, which is evident by the lyrics in the song. One line went, quote, "Dear John, I see it all now it was wrong. Don't you think 19 is too young to be played by your dark twisted games, when I loved you so?" But John Mayer actually clapped back at the way that he was portrayed in her music. He told Rolling Stone in 2012, quote, "It made me feel terrible because I didn't deserve it. I'm pretty good at taking accountability now, and I never did anything to deserve that. It was a really lousy thing for her to do." And at number 6, Jake Gyllenhaal. After the release of the 10-minute version of All Too Well, I think we all know there's crazy tension between Taylor and Jake Gyllenhaal. These two had a hot and heavy romance between October of 2010 and January of 2011. The pair also had an age gap of 9 years, which has raised some eyebrows. The romance was so intense that apparently Jake paid $160,000 just so he could fly her out on a private jet for a date. But then they split, and she poured her heart out on the album Red, more specifically in the song All Too Well, when she gave details about their romance and the tension that led to their split. Some fans questioned how they could have had such a whirlwind romance if they only dated for a few months. But it's been widely rumored that Taylor actually lost her virginity to Jake, so that's why the relationship was filled with so many highs, then lows when they split. Halfway number 5, Connor Kennedy. Taylor and Connor Kennedy had an intense summer fling in 2012 that started from July to October. They were first spotted together sharing a lunch in Mount Kisco, New York. Then throughout the rest of the summer, they were caught by paparazzi in tons of coupley photos. It looked pretty serious at one point. Taylor even bought a $5 million house by his in Cape Cod. But apparently that was one of the things that started their downfall. One of Connor's close friends claimed, quote, "Connor liked Taylor, don't get me wrong, but this business of her buying a house on the Cape made him nervous." Although at this point things were still pretty good between them. But then a feud broke out. Apparently Connor's family accused Taylor of crashing one of their family weddings and making things very awkward for the couple getting married. Her reps denied the tension, but clearly things were on the rocks at that point because they broke up shortly after. And number 4, Harry Styles. This is probably Taylor's shortest relationship, but it was so passionate she basically wrote an entire album because of it. The pair dated from December of 2012 to January of 2013, and they were caught by paparazzi a few times out and about. but then almost as fast as it started, it was over. One source said they got into a huge fight while on vacation, and it led to Taylor leaving the vacation and Harry staying behind to let off some steam. Then she wrote the hit song I Knew You Were Trouble because of Harry, along with the album 1989, which includes many more songs believed to be about Harry, most notably the song Style, which is basically named after him, although the pair are apparently on good terms now. And at number 3, Calvin Harris. This relationship was easily the most scandalous. After this pair broke up, they actually got into a public feud. The couple dated from March of 2015 to June of 2016 and were introduced by their mutual friend Ellie Goulding. The relationship looked very positive and lasted over a year, but they broke up shortly after their 1-year anniversary. Their split seemed to be amicable at first, but then Taylor was seen kissing Tom Hiddleston only 2 weeks after the split. Apparently, Harris felt blindsided and took his anger out on Twitter. Harris tweeted that Taylor's team was trying to make him look bad when she exposed that she co-wrote the song This Is What You Came For Calvin Harris and Rihanna. Then he tweeted that Taylor was trying to quote, bury him like Katy, alluding towards Taylor's feud with Katy Perry. He eventually opened up about his social media rant, saying that he quote, just snapped. And at number 2, Tom Hiddleston. These two started their relationship almost immediately after Taylor split with Calvin Harris. They dated from June to September of 2016. The pair even made their relationship official in the public's eye when they attended the 2016 Met Gala together, which was a huge step for Taylor, although rumors of cheating swirled around the couple, considering they started dating so soon after her and Calvin Harris split up. Their whirlwind PDA-filled romance took them all over the globe, with stops in Italy, Tennessee, Rhode Island, New York City, Australia, and England. But of course, their summer romance would end pretty quickly. A source revealed that apparently Tom wanted their relationship to be even more public, while Taylor wanted to keep it more low-key. Tom later addressed if the relationship was all for show in a GQ interview, where he said, quote, of course it was real. Taylor is an amazing woman. She's generous and kind and lovely, and we had the best time. And finally, number 1, Joe Alwyn. Taylor's current relationship is her longest, and many think this is the man that Taylor is going to marry. We're not sure when exactly Joe and Taylor started dating, because she went pretty much radio silent on social media after her split with Tom, but many think they got together near the end of 2016. At this time, Taylor was caught in a public feud with Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, but other than that she was nowhere to be seen, online or out in the world by paparazzi. But even though she was laying low, her dating life was in full swing. News broke in May of 2017 that Taylor was dating English actor Joe Alwyn, and they'd been seeing each other for months. And it's clear that things are very serious. Joe was briefly in Taylor's documentary Miss Americana, where she spoke of how he helps her with her writing. Then during her Grammy acceptance speech said, quote, to Joe, who's the first person that I play every single song that I write, and I had the best time writing songs with you in quarantine. Based on some song lyrics, fans have even speculated the two might be engaged, but neither person has confirmed it. A source said about the couple, quote, they've been continuing to be pretty low-key about their relationship to the outside world to continue to protect it. They've discussed future plans, and Taylor can see herself marrying Joe one day. Starting off this countdown, we have Treacherous. Released in 2012, Treacherous is a song featured on her album Red. Now, in the liner notes for this song, if you take all the capital letters, the message reads, won't stop till it's over. So, what does this mean? Well, the song is theorized to be about John Mayer. I mean, the song includes words like Gravity, which was a song John Mayer released in 2005. There's also a line in the song about his hands, which is supposedly a reference to John Mayer's other song, Your Body is a Wonderland. A song that they also have sung together a number of times during Taylor's shows when John would be a special guest performer. Rumor has it that Swift and Mayer dated between December of 2009 to February of 2010. Maybe her message, won't stop till it's over, is a reference to the singer. Moving on at number 9, we have Holy Ground. This is a song that we don't quite know who Taylor Swift was talking about. So this 2012 song has the hidden message, when you came to the show in SD. This may be a reference to her show that she played in San Diego on October 20th, 2011. So what celebrity attended that show? Unfortunately, I don't have the answers to that question, but if you have a theory, let me know in the comments below. However, some say that the song is about mending broken bridges with Joe Jonas. But who knows, I want to hear your theories. Moving on at number 8, we have I Almost Do. I Almost Do was another song released in 2012 on Swift's album Red. Now, before I tell you the hidden message, let's analyze this album a little more. So Red almost seems like it was split into two halves. The first half is mainly about the end of love. The second half is about finding a new love, with a few song exceptions. With that being said, the song I Almost Do is placed almost in the middle of the album. Now, the hidden message is, wrote this instead of calling. This can be interpreted as Swift was missing a past lover and was resisting the urge to try and call them. Instead of doing so, she channeled this into writing a song. Now, what I want to know is who this song is about. Clearly, she really misses them as she hints at it in the song, but she knows it's for the better that the two remain apart. In our 7th spot, we have Dear John. I mean, Taylor really didn't hide who this song was about. Clearly, Dear John is about her ex, John Mayer. This song was featured on her 2010 album Speak Now. Get ready for this hidden message, cause it may just break your heart. So Taylor's message read, "Loved you from the very first day." That's so cute, but also really sad because they broke up. But Taylor kept it real with this one, as she wanted John to know how in love she was with him. My heart hurts now, that's just too cute. In our 6th spot, we have Back to December. This probably isn't a new one to all the die-hard fans out there. So Swift's song Back to December was released in 2010 on her album Speak Now. Her hidden message? Well, it's very blunt. The message reads T-A-Y, or Tay. Who could she be referring to? Her ex, Taylor Lautner, of course. The two Taylors met on set of the film Valentine's Day in 2009, but only lasted for a couple of months. In the song, she references someone's tan skin and sweet smile. Yep. Sounds like Taylor Lautner. Also, the song's timeline and the couples match up perfectly. So they were together in the summer, and in the song Taylor sings, "And I think about summer all the beautiful times." She continues on singing, "I watched you laughing from the passenger side." Well, remember that famous paparazzi photo of the Taylors together in a car? Taylor was on the passenger side. I mean, I remember that photo clearly because I love Taylor Lautner and I thought I was gonna date him, and then I was sad when I saw that photo and found out that they were dating. I digress. Well, the two broke up in December, and the song has the lyric, "I go back to December all the time." Seems pretty obvious that this song is about Lautner. But side note, if Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner got married and she took his last name, they both would be Taylor Lautner. It's crazy. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with The Last Time. Now, this song is rumored to be about the one and only Jake Gyllenhaal. Wow, heartbreaker. This song's secret message in the liner notes reads as LA on your break. So now it's thought that Jake, or maybe someone else if it isn't about Jake, dumped Taylor in Los Angeles while they were on their break. It's thought that this is about Jake because LA means Hollywood, and Gyllenhaal could have been filming a movie at the time that they were dating, and then while on break, broke up with Taylor. Ouch. At least it wasn't over the phone, right, Joe? Coming in at number 4, we have Begin Again. Taylor Swift ends her album Red with a bang with the song Begin Again. In the song, it seems like Taylor is moving on from an old relationship and beginning again with a new one that makes her feel way better about herself. Well, the hidden message in this song is I wear heels now. Now, this can be interpreted two ways. The first being that she is more confident than ever. Wearing heels can be a metaphor for standing up tall for herself, where on the other hand, it can symbolize how she is starting to do stuff for herself instead of her lovers. In the song, Taylor alludes to the fact that her past lover didn't like it when she would wear heels, so she wouldn't wear them. Now it seems like Taylor is doing whatever she wants. If she wants to wear heels, she will wear heels. She's done changing for others. It's also thought that this song is about finding Connor Kennedy. How cute. And ladies, if you want to wear heels, wear heels. Don't listen to men. Making our way down the list at number 3, we have Red. Red is the second song on her 2012 album, Red. This time, the hidden message in her song is a little more cryptic. So the message is just the letters S-A-G, or SAG. On one hand, they think it's short for Sagittarius, which is Jake Gyllenhaal's zodiac sign, but it's also Taylor Swift's zodiac sign. Fun fact, Taylor Swift and I both share the same birthday. Pretty cool. Then another theory goes that SAG is the abbreviation for Screen Actors Guild, which Gyllenhaal is a part of. Then the song also mentions autumn. Well, the couple started dating back in October of 2010 in autumn, so it may just be about him, but let me know your theories for this one in the comments below. Moving on to number 2, we have This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. Released in 2017 on her Redemption album, the song This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things seems to be about being hurt and betrayed by someone. Well, this song is said to be about Kanye West. Why? Well, look at the lyrics. The lyrics go as follows. It was so nice to be friends again. There I was giving you a second chance. But then you stabbed my back while shaking my hand. And therein lies the issue. Friends don't try to trick you, get you on the phone, and mind twist you. Seems like she could be referencing the infamous phone call between her and West. The call happened in 2016 when Kanye phoned Swift seeking permission to mention her name in a song. But when the song got released, Taylor said she never agreed to be called a B-word, which he does in the song. Then Kim Kardashian posted an edited version of the call saying that Swift indeed did approve it. Well, Kim twisted the truth, as Taylor mentions in her song. And in our number 1 spot, we have All Too Well. All Too Well is another well-known song on Swift's 2012 album Red. Now, when we decode this message, it reads as this: maple lattes. Pretty vague, right? Well, if you actually Google maple lattes, some paparazzi shots appear of Jake Gyllenhaal and Taylor Swift on a walk. Taylor was holding some sort of beverage, probably a maple latte. Now, in the song, it has the line, "Left my scarf there at your sister's house." Well, Taylor apparently spent Thanksgiving in New York with Jake and his family. Maggie Gyllenhaal lives in Brooklyn, so she could have left her scarf at her house. And the song talks about autumn leaves falling down. Well, clearly it's fall in the song, and what else is in fall? Thanksgiving. Case closed. This song is about Mr. Jake Gyllenhaal, again, another song about him. And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments from my video, Top 10 Celebrities Who Might Run for President. Faye Cookson commented, Lindsay for President. Okay, I'm honored, but number 1, I'm Canadian, and 2, I'm not cut out to be president. But I can promise you this, if I was president, I would expose all the White House secrets.